mute.
Great. Okay, good. Would you mind put your equipment a little bit higher?
Yeah.
So it's great. I see your beautiful face, and I can see your body in front of the piano. That would be great. But I would like to see more of your hand. Are you using a computer?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll do what we can. Okay. You can
Caroline.
put it a little bit behind you. Let's say like here. So even if I don't see the whole keyboard, that's okay. If I can see like 2/3 of it, that will be really helpful. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, is that better? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay.
And you are a little bit dark. Is there a light inside the room so I can see? Okay. Okay. Great. Your piece is very short, so if anything, that I can always ask you to demonstrate just small parts. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone first, or do you know each other? So for example, how many students did you teach? What kind of level did you teach? And then okay.
Okay. I'm Karolyn. I'm 16.
Your voice is very soft.
Okay.
Do you want to turn your original sound on? That sometimes helps.
Yeah, I have.
Did I turn it down? Yes. Okay.
Maybe this will make it better.
A little bit better. Okay, let's go ahead and try.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's excellent job. My dear, would you mind put your computer really close to the piano? So you sound wonderful, and you did really, really, really good job with a lot of the things. Everything was really clear. Besides, I can't really hear your dynamic, not because you didn't do any. I think it's something to do with your microphone. So now, can you do just the beginning? First 2 bars, one in pianissimo, one in fortissimo. I just want to see how big a range, because of the microphone, how big can you do? Okay, so now this is much better. Great. So before we start talking about it, first of all, I want to tell you how wonderful you did. That was great. Do you have any question before I start talking about the piece with you? Do you have any specific thing you want to work on? For example, is there any spots when you play until there your hand get tired, or is there any difficult spots that you would like to talk about how you practice it, and maybe there is a better way to practice it?
I don't think I have like any particular spot in mind.
Okay. Good. Can you? So obviously, so you did very expressively. Small question. What? So when you look at the tempo marking, you see patetico. What does it mean?
Like with emotion or feel.
Sorry, I can't really hear you. One more time, please.
With like feeling or like emotion.
Yeah, and it basically means moving. So when you do, you did it really well. But I feel that, and I know you know that because the way you play, like you try to pour your heart into the piece, which is great. But I feel, can you just do, let's say, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe like 9 bars of the piece, and this time you have the music with you. Great. I want you to don't modify the rhythm as much as you do. So basically, almost like really just in time, and don't push the tempo, don't delay the tempo, just in time. Okay. And okay. Since we're doing this, so basically in an etudes, okay, when composer write etudes, besides all these musical ideas, basically they are working on specific things, right? In this one, I feel it's a left hand plus a little bit of the right hand. You actually did work very well. I'm not going to tell you where the difficulty part is, because if I tell you, then you are going to have mental block. So I want you to just go from the beginning and really pay attention to all the marking he writes. When we do romantic music, we fall into the trap of being too romanticized. But I want to pull you back a little bit. Just look through it. So you have nothing in the very beginning, which is very interesting. He doesn't tell you what he wants you to do in the beginning. So which means you have freedom. But then, so in other words, you have to treat this almost like a treasure map, okay, with all this tiny clue deciding what you want to do in the beginning. So you have tiny pin on the end of the second bar, and you happen again the fourth bar, and then you finally have a crescendo, and you have a tiny bigger crescendo to forte only.
Yeah.
So I know, like, with all the recording, everyone like bang on in the beginning, which I actually agree. But what's really important, that's going to be the second thing I'm going to talk with you after we talk about the first structure, is how you are placing yourself, how the structure of the pieces, basically. You have, right, gazillions of times. He doesn't really change key, right? So how you build it up. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So from the beginning, 8 bars, really following the dynamic. And again, like the way I'm telling you, okay, so you crescendo all the way until the forte, it doesn't mean you have to do softly in the beginning, but you just have to keep these things in mind, okay, and do it perfectly in tempo. Okay, from the beginning, please. Good. Okay, excellent. Now, can we just do the right hand only? And one thing, when you play, I notice a lot of this. So you're pretty straight back, but then you start doing this a little bit, which is unfortunately is the curse of every single pianist I know, including myself. It takes forever to change this habit. But in a piece like this is actually a perfect opportunity to try to get rid of this habit. Not like getting rid of it, but to really realizing why you are doing it. I feel when we are trying to lean forward, it's because you're tight here, and maybe a little bit here, especially on octaves, right? I mean, I'm not in person, so I can't really see how you play octaves, but you seem to have big enough hands, and I actually have a very small hand. So there is no excuse going on. When you do noticing my body stay in one place, okay? It's no, there is no mystery going on. It is when you after you play, remember relaxation, and then relax. And the relax, it's in different stage of my career, I realizing relaxation means different things. But in the case here, I feel the sound of the piano go play up. There is a floating of the sound, and then okay, just those 2 bars, and really slowly, and 1, 2, D, ya bam, ba ba, float. Treat this like a slow movement of Mozart. You don't do da-dam, ba-ba, right? You do ya-dam very melodically. 2 bars, right hand, please. Good. Yes. Great. Okay. Much better. Excellent job. Now, you have the piece memorized. So sit straight and find a place, like your head's a little bit hop up. Find a place you can stare at and do again. Yeah, find a place you can look up to, and don't move your head, and don't look at your hand, basically. Good. Yes. Okay. So over Zoom, it's not as obvious, but your sound opened up a lot. How do you feel when you do it this way?
Much better. It's like
much better in the way that, so when I started play piano, mainly focusing on this, it feels a little bit out of control at first, because you don't hold on to the note. You literally let go, and you cannot care about round notes as much as you do. Okay, if we play round notes, it's fine. I really want you to feel the relaxation of your hand. Okay, good. So that's much better. I'm going to go on for now, but when you practice this, go back to this really slow practicing and feel the relaxation of your arm. Your sound will open up. And another thing with sound open up is then you can tighten it up easily. So you start having different colors going on. Okay, cool. So, and I know I asked you to do this, but when you do when you do it in tempo, your rhythm was kind of not perfect. You squeeze the so it sounds it sounds like a triplets with the rest, and then yeah. So really subdivide and really get back to the core of the piece. Okay, cool. And then in terms of the structure, so tell me, how many sections or phrases do you think this whole piece has? How many? Again, there is no right or wrong answer. Okay, just look at the music. It's not a quiz. No. I'm just trying to help you, because what's really the next step is, with all these different sections, different phrases, I want you to think of them a little bit differently, so your piece will be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
You play interestingly. No. You play really well. My job here is to help you see the piece a little bit differently, and hopefully to be helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So obviously, 8 bars of phrase, and where is the ending of the next phrase?
Another 8.
Yes, exactly. Okay, now we are facing with one thing, is you have almost 2 identical 8 bars, right?
Yeah.
Are they different in any way?
Yeah.
Where is different?
I think the left hand changes a little, like it goes to like the octave at the bottom on the D sharp.
Okay. Yeah, great. And also, when you get to the... Sorry, I never played this piece. I mean, I did, but so many years ago. But here, the first time you go to only forte, the second time, what dynamic do you have?
Diminuendo.
Fortissimo. So that's a little bit different. Okay. So this is as an accomplished pianist like you who knows the piece really well. You got the notes. You can perform it, no problem. This is what you need to start looking at when you have two same things. So which means when you start, you know, like you need to, maybe the first time is a little bit softer, but there is this really stormy emotion underneath. And the second time when you start maybe when you start, it starts a little bit louder already. See my point? Start seeing it more structurally. Now, can you play from the... Can you play from there? Good. Okay. So what's really important is it's kind of same structure, right? Kind of the, a little bit soft, a little bit melodic thing, few rest, and boom, go up. But this time you're going up. You actually have a sforzando going on with you. So in other words, and then crescendo to a sforzando, right? So the way you treat it's not going to be the same. So try to do it a little bit more melodic there. Then right here you do the explosion. See my point?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. And then and then just one general thing. Can you just play that that phrase one time, just single note, and play really expressively, and making sure that's one big phrase. Good, better. Two things. Listen until the end of the long notes, and you know how. Otherwise, it sounds.
Yeah.
It's something to do with the attack. So listen until the end. And one more thing. So making sure your phrase and finish instead of get excited and then this sounds extra. Yeah. So this apply to every single phrase you play this. Okay. Good. And then the middle section, and then you get back to right? Cool. Can you go from there, the ritardando, and back to the a tempo in? This is what I want you to do. Actually, before you do, what should you?
Well, there's 3 minutes left. Just wanted to.
I know. I just noticed it. Oopsie. So before you do it, can you do the left hand one time? So what's going on is I don't want you to pause before the jump on the left hand. So unless it's musical purposes, in other words, you take time. Don't take time to do it down. That need to be a little bit smoother. Because every time you hesitate there, we have a break of phrase, but the melody is not done yet, right? So a little bit slower and really pay attention. perfect time on the di dum ba bum. That's okay, but not in the middle of the bar. Okay?
Yeah.
Both hands. Actually, I changed my mind. Yes. Okay. So every time you practice, making sure when you have the half note going into the next note, the phrase continues. Don't hesitate in between. Every single time. And unfortunately, this is basically the whole second part. Okay? And because every time you hesitate, we don't feel it. Okay? Cool. Why do I always run out of time? Okay, ending. Last 4 bars. One more time. Can you do one time? And the yum and bomb. So you understand what I mean, right? In terms of timing.
Yeah.
And also when you do the sorry, I can't play this, but making sure the last chord is where you are going. Don't use up all your energy on the that's where you're going. Okay, otherwise we feel it's like you make a cake and you just try again. Good, excellent. So that's the perfect timing. And when you do the D, M, making sure your body here open up instead of okay. And video tape. So in general, Caroline, excellent, Karolyn or Caroline. Okay, I'm not very good at this. I'm sorry, but really excellent work. You got a lot of things. Basically, it's the rhythm. You still squeeze your 16th notes. When you listen back, you don't have to listen back to the masterclass. It doesn't matter that much. Mainly, record yourself. When you listen back, pay attention to the din da da di da 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 dum ba bam. Going from the triplets to the 16th notes is actually not that much faster. Okay, every time you squeeze, well, occasionally when you squeeze, it sounds great. When you squeeze all the time, it doesn't sound as powerful as you could have been. Okay, and then really pay attention to the sitting back thing. Okay, just slowly, and again, don't get frustrated. You are going to forget it. Okay, so just occasionally remind you, always have my voice behind your head occasionally, and then just try a few phrases, then you will feel the difference. And you don't have to do it all the time. That's the thing. If you can, that's great. But in the beginning, if just few phrases you do that, you will feel the difference. You will hear the sound is different. Then you will have tone quality changes. Last thing, when you play, after you play, don't push even further. In the beginning, when we start doing piano, we do it because it's to train your arm. You are way over this, and you don't have time in a piece like this. Wonderful job, excellent work.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you think of any question, remember write it down and then ask me in the end. We
Yeah,
can talk
and
about how you practice the octaves. Okay.
this will be the recording of the class will be on our YouTube if you ever want to go back and watch it. But yeah, awesome job. Okay, great. Our next performer is Michelle Chu, and her piece is Chopin Etude, Opus 25, number 11.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Okay, excellent job. How long did you practice? That was wonderfully done.
Thank you.
Yeah, how long did you practice this piece?
Probably like 4 or 5 months.
Okay, wonderful job. Excellent work. Before we start, any questions in general? No, good. Very, very good. You know, like you have I'm curious with one thing. So your right hand is actually excellent. Did you get tired at all on your right hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
end, right? So few things, major things I want to talk with you now that you have major problem. First of all, your posture is really well. Beginning was excellent job. Just the first 4 bars before when you start really well, but I feel the first 2 bars especially don't. It's a visual thing. Don't move too much. Versus, you can see my right hand, but you know when you move your arm, when it as an accomplished pianist like you, especially when you play simple things, well, first 4 bars only. When you play simple things, when you move too much, you disturb the calmness what you create because you have such good tone quality, and then the way the tone quality you create was really beautiful. But if you can be a little bit calmer in the beginning, though, in terms of just the movements, and you don't have drastic ones, but just little bit, okay? So just really pay attention to it. Paddle is what I want to talk about, and also, so you do have dynamic, but what do you like? What do you think of the structure of the piece? I know, like you know, like you're practicing those notes are quite a bit of work already, but so for example, when you start it's hard to form my question probably, but I feel the way you play the whole thing, it's too complete the whole time. Basically the whole thing. Okay? So can you just do first page? Okay? Ignore the first 4 bars, going from the fast thing, because I know you can fix an easy thing. And then the beginning when your voicing was beautiful. I will adding a little bit of the third voice on the last bar. Because you go to the G sharp. When you introduce the G sharp just in the end without a little bit introduction to the third voice, it was a little bit too sudden. That's it. Now go from here. I need to hear your right hand did really well, but I feel your paddle is sort of taking it over or covering up a little bit. Can you try again just the first page, starting from the fast thing, and then pay attention to your paddle, and then second thing is do. Thinking of all that left hand, focusing on the left hand part and the pedal, and left hand part, try to connect them into one gigantic phrase. So in other words, listen to all the yeah. Pay attention to how you mentally continue those sound, so it doesn't sound and not next phrase. Okay, try. Yes, okay, that's significantly better. Now, last thing. So I'm just going to focus a lot on this part because this basically applies to the whole piece. So can you do left hand one time? And this time I want you to do a little bit slower. And what I want you to do is sort of in your mind subdividing the left, even the quarter notes to 16th notes. Oh, actually, just as an experiment, slowly, but yada yada. at 16th notes and then try to do them musically. In other words, you do crescendo down, crescendo up. Okay? No. Do them all at 16th notes. Da 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 da. I know it's a little bit tedious, but. Good. 1 second. Okay. So that was much better. When you do the don't emphasize on the downbeat. Just the very continuous. Last time, same thing. Good, excellent. Now do as written and same tempo, just the Good. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to continue just to actually 8 bars. And we need to do same thing and this time. So you actually have very good sense of the 2-bar phrase, yeah? But when you get to the continuation from there, that's what I want you to pay attention to. And especially the we as a pianist we can really crescendo there, but I want you to using your subdivision of the making that crescendo into not a accent to the next note. No, sorry. Just a left hand. I really want you to pay attention to your left hand.
Okay, wait.
Yeah. From the from there. 8 bars. Yeah, 1 second, Michelle. So that was good, but you have to thinking of this a little bit more, not as a terrace, but it's different level. So you start Forte. Yeah, I really want you to feel it go down, and then you stay there. You see my point?
Yeah.
You have tiny crescendo going on, but then the whole big structure going on. That's what's missing. Go on. Yes, that's great. Okay, good. So the first 4 bars was much better, but when you get here, and then I feel you didn't think the little bit difference between them. I know this is going to be distracting, but the do you have a decrescendo there? Yes? Yeah. So you did the opposite. We all do. So just so you know. And that's what Chopin is telling us. And then the a little bit more dramatic there. Yeah? And then the and then yeah. Can you give those actually just do the give them a little bit different character.
So just
right?
Just like that.
Yeah. That's fine. Good. Okay, so the first two with a very distinct difference, that's great. And then you can do that, okay? Great. Now with the bass note, and then making sure interrupting the top note or it's a continuation? Either way works. You just need to decide on one.
I think like a continuation.
Okay. So remember that. Okay. Try now for the whole left hand there from the and making sure you do the difference. You do the different characters between those four, and then the bass note is a continuation of it. Good. Okay. So just one. That was better. But when you do the if you end a little bit softly, then you do a little bit softly. And when you do the and then the you see my point? That's what I mean by you continue with it. Great. Now I want you to do both hands on the. But I want you to do. So I know you use your left hand as a main melody, which is completely correct. But at this time, I want you to really listen to the right hand on the.
Wait, so just like a chromatic.
Just right hand there, and then left hand the whole thing. Good. Okay, Michelle, that was really good. Now I want you to do exactly the same thing, and then making sure the right hand dynamic really fit the left hand. Good. That's excellent. Now the whole as written, same tempo, and making sure you fit the dynamic. Good. Okay. Last thing. So when you start, can you just feel? Actually, I know you are in real life. We don't do this, but take a little. Really feel the weight in the beginning, and so when you get to the soft part, that was great. Can you do the soft part without squeeze your body? Making sure you still keep open.
Wait, so start from like the.
Yeah, start there and then. So basically, start a little bit slowly, so feel the weight of your right hand. So basically, when you play, it's really great, but I kind of don't, and it could be the zoom, but I kind of don't hear your right hand very well in the beginning until the middle of the phrase. Then it's not enough. It's not enough of the coming down. But now you have the coming down, but you kind of squeeze it. You kind of belittle yourself a little bit, which is fine. But then the danger is you actually tighten your body a little bit. Then you go by chance whether you can do it or not. Because I do it too. So bad idea. Okay, try. Yeah, good. And I need more more crescendo there. Okay, cool. Now go from there.
Just a time check. 3 minutes left.
Okay, let's go from there. From there. Good. Okay, Michelle, I keep talking about the phrasing, how to do it smoothly as an idea, and please apply that to the whole piece. Okay, I mean, you understand. It's because it's the same thing. Last thing to talk about is the not that. So he has pin on every single one of this, yes? Some of them need to be a little bit more explosive. Can you try your right hand one time? And since we decide on the yeah, then obviously it's going to be the third one. But when you do the thinking hear those notes a little bit more. I feel it's more melodically on the first two. I feel it's going to help you with the swore of the phrase. Try right here. Good. Great finger, by the way. But so and then the second one you focus a little bit on that change of the note, and then more crescendo. Yeah, last time.
Wait.
That's fine. Yeah, that's exactly the idea. Last time. One more time. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So for the third one, when you want to do more explosive, you start softer.
Okay.
Yeah, great. Now can we do both hands there? Just that 4 bars. Good. So Michelle, you know this piece really well. Okay. So, and we don't even have to talk about how you do this. And then I know the bottom note is a little bit tricky. The way I practice it, I'm a student. So I do this. You do 2 notes, and then you double the bottom note. Okay, I feel the bottom note sometimes gets the top note really well, but sometimes your right hand get tight. First of all, I mean, after a minute of it, we are like, okay, this need to be down. But so it's especially the thumb start getting tight. So by doing double, and sometimes I do triple. Okay, and sometimes and then unfortunately we don't have enough time. Otherwise, there are spots you can take a little bit break. It's all about finding spots to take a break and where. So hopefully the concept is helping you a little bit. I'm basically trying to help you to find. And if your left hand feel the bigger shape, it should help your right hand to relax a little bit. But then your right hand need to fit in with the character or dynamic of the left hand. So using that as a concept. What edition are you using?
I think this is Dover.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, Chopin Etudes, like somehow all kinds of edition, a little bit different, but probably none of them are wrong. You know about Alfred Cortot edition, yes? It's on MSLP.
Who?
Okay. Remind me this in the end. So he has the whole Chopin Etudes, and he has ways to practice them for each piece of it. So I feel it will be a good and it's not terribly expensive. I think last time I see it on Amazon, it was not crazy expensive. So certainly something to look into, and IMSOP has it. So you can start with there. And it's going to give you some hints on how you're going to practice this and that, like so many different patterns. I can show you a little bit. And this is how it looks. See all that? Yeah. I didn't create all this, okay? So yeah, so this is going to be a really good reference book for you. Remind me, I will write it down for you.
Thank you.
Okay, good job.
Awesome job, Michelle. Okay, our next performer is going to play, Swathi is going to play the Chopin Waltz in A flat major, Opus 69, number 1.
Okay.
So are you ready?
Great job. I'm sorry. How do I pronounce your name? Swati or
Yeah,
Swati?
Swathi. That's
Swati. Nice to meet you. Wonderful, wonderful work. Okay, really good. Again, some question before we start. Anything you want to
I
talk
think
about or any issues you have first?
I think in like the third page, the phrasing for the part where it goes. I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if I'm doing the phrasing properly. If it's
Okay, good. And so when you say phrasing, like, what do you mean by it? Do you mean like you are thinking of full bar phrase, but you have problem connecting the noise, or connecting the
yeah, that part, and
noise?
also like where to switch like the pedal like
Okay,
properly so it doesn't sound choppy. I think.
great. Okay, since that's where you think you have question, let's start from there. In general, so the phrase is actually what I want to talk about as well, even from the beginning. So you did it really well, but your phrase is kind of like every 2 bars.
Okay.
Okay, which we always do because like the way he writes it. So what's really important is like how I talk with the first two pianists as well. It's composer, when they write, we have small phrases, but then with the same pattern, sometimes they do just a little bit lower notes. So as it's not as an echo, but like how to continue that thought. And go back to where you think is a problematic section. Can you do? Let's talk about pedal a little bit later. But can you just do the melody line for me? So just do the melody line for me. Yeah, okay, one second. So this is not exactly melody line. That's the melody line. Okay? So when you look at Chopin's writing, you see normal, and then you see the staff going down, right? So that means that it's a different voice. And then this is way back to the normal. And then different voice. So that part is complicated in terms of phrasing is because of the interruption here. Okay? Cool. Just do the melody for me, please. Good. Great. Okay. Oh, what's your fingering there?
I have three, 4.
Okay. But how about the double notes? What fingering do you use there?
1 and 2 for C and E, C and E flat, and then 2 and 4, and then 5 and 3.
5 and 3, but you do 5 and 4. Or is it 5 and 3? Okay. So when you do, that's good. I want you to see my hand better. So when you do, it's can you feel the arm drop 2 times when you do? Just do the beginning of that for me one time. Yeah, okay. So one thing, when you play piano, especially double notes, try to make sure your wrist doesn't get too low. Okay? So how about you use your left hand to hold your wrist here? So keep it basically this shape the whole time. So even when I say drop, you don't drop here, you drop here. Good. And so that next thing is there is a relaxation going on. So your hand got a little, it's almost like, imagine how do you call that? Basketball. When you're patting a basketball, up, down, up, down, up. Exactly just a motion. Down, up, down, up. Try that. Good. Okay. So when you do that, making sure the motion going down. So the first down, up, you did it wonderfully. But the second one, after you play, don't be afraid. And don't think about connecting. Don't worry about that slur yet. Just bum. Good. But don't try to beat up too much. It's a very slow and also okay. So the up motion, don't lead it with your wrist. Lead it with your upper arm. Thumb up, thumb up. See, it's here leading it up. And obviously, when you lead it up, your hand is going to be a little bit this, but you never lead with here. Last time? Good, better. Or you're still leading with a little bit with your wrist. So when you practice, but you start seeing it. Oh, actually, I changed my mind. Use your left hand here, and then use your left hand to hold your hand up. Yeah. Okay. That feels a little bit different, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's closer to how you should lead it there. Great. And then now. So that's how you practice the double notes. Okay? Great. Now, going back to your question on the phrasing, instead of double note, can you just do the upper note? Can you just ignore this? Just do the da, do, just do that much. Good. Now try to connect this motive, two motives together. Da, dee, da, da, dee. Yes, better. Good. Now do ta, do, but when you do this, still have that top melody going on. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Swathi, you sound much better already. Your tone quality is significantly improved. So I feel, sorry, I keep, it's been a little, okay. It's hard to talk this way all the time, but very good. It's getting much better. So do work on thinking through the phrase that way. I feel it's going to help you with this. And there are like two ways to think about this part. You can do dee, da, and then da 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 dee, da da dee, da 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 dee. This can be a continuation of the phrase, or you can be da da ta dee, da da dee. You can be a separate voice going on. Okay? But I feel you're doing really well. So I hope that helps. Now the pedal. Okay. So when you do, can you do one time? Okay. Unfortunately, this time you have to do every single voice on your right hand. But I want you to do. And really pay attention to where he put half notes. Yeah. So quarter note and then half note. So when you do this, we still need to hear those two notes. Not only you need to sustain those, we still need to hear them. And then when you release here, we still need to hear the bottom note. Okay? Just slowly and play until here. That's it. No. Cheated a little bit. When you do this, officially your hands still need to hold those two notes. Yes, better. Can you hold a little bit longer? Making sure we hear these three notes together, and then you release it. Yes, better. Okay? So now, both hands, just that bar. And left hand on the second beat, you have the G in quarter note and in half note, right?
Yeah.
So which means when your left hand play, G, yeah, you need to hold the G. Now same thing, both hands. So basically, the way you use pedal is literally on what note you're supposed to continue hearing. Okay? Good. So can we try just that bar one time and making sure when you get to hear the second beat, we can hear that. And then when you get to the third beat, we can hear. Yeah?
Okay.
Try. Yeah. Yes. So you got the idea. That basically answers your question on the pedal. So I know on the music it said you sustain the first beat to the second beat, which is completely correct. But before you adding in those fancy things, this is what you need to do first. Okay. Get those notes in, and then you just melted the first beat to the second beat. Yeah. With the basic concept, just adding in a little bit more overlapping between the first beat and second beat, and that's it.
Okay.
But you have to making sure you know what notes you want to hear first.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Now, let's talk a little bit the middle section. Actually, I want to talk about all that grace note. Can we go from? You know where it is, right? Can we go from the? Can we go from there? Good. Okay, you did really well. But making sure when you do the elegantly. So when Chopin wrote all those pieces, back then the music environment compared to ours now is very different. Music is not for normal people. Music is literally for nobility and super rich people. Okay, it's like supposed to be like high class stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine people who play, and then that's actually one of the big income for Chopin. Besides playing concerts, he teaches a lot of little girls play piano. Okay, so those girls with their background and with the society back then, when the people who play those pieces, imagine those like white gloves and then the really cutesy dresses, but fancy, good, good family as we call it. Yeah, basically high society. So everything you do need to be super elegant. That's like the first thing. Then and that also applies to Mozart. Beethoven is a little bit different. Okay, he's a little bit more rebel. But in terms of Chopin, you have to imagine like when you wear those dresses, and then back then they have to wear, how do you call it? You have to wear like something. There are like 5-6 different layers of clothes going on. So it's complicated, and it's all about it's all about very delicate, and it's all about very elegant. So when you do the don't be in a hurry. I know, like you are being a wonderful person. You try to play in time. That's yes, but relax a little bit. You actually play in time already. Okay. Same thing, please. One more time.
Okay. Also, sorry to interrupt, but time check is about 2 to 3 minutes left.
Okay. Yes. And also even the crescendo up, slowing down. Just do this round for me, and then slow down a little bit in the end. Slow down in the end. Yes. It's not that much slower. And the very end, that harder round, the arpeggio.
Yeah.
Practice. Okay, that kind of pattern. Get your finger a little bit more relaxed, and then making sure you don't do it too fast.
Okay.
Then you're good. Okay.
Thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, you're
Awesome
welcome.
job, Swathi. Okay, our next performer is Daniel Lee, and he'll be playing the Mozart Sonata number 12 in F major. So when you're ready.
Thank you. Daniel, because of time, I will just let you play until the end of the development section. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yep. I think that's great. Yeah. Okay. Very, very good work. Okay. Wonderful. Again, same question. Any specific question you want to talk about first?
Maybe finding the balance between lightness and also like playing forte sometimes.
Right. Okay. So, what do you mean by finding a balance? Like, so for example, it sounds too. The change is too drastic, or what?
I feel like I might be too heavy sometimes when I try to play a little bit louder.
Yeah. Okay. So let's yes, but I feel the better approach to this. So let's go to the second page. I'm not sure what edition you're using, but I'm talking about the that part. Okay, so you have forte and then you have piano, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's, can you think of piano and forte there as more of a character? So for example, forte, like what adjective you can use to describe it? There, exactly there.
Like, a little bit daring.
Good. Okay, and then how about the piano there?
It's like a little bit retreating, a little bit scared, maybe. Perhaps.
Great. Okay, so daring. Yeah. So try that. So it's all about. So I feel it's. I don't want to say like your forte was too aggressive, or it's not enough, or it's too heavy. Yes and no. I feel it's, you are a little bit confused why the forte was there. That's my impression of it. So instead of thinking is it too heavy and does it need to be light, because when you do the forte too light, it's going to sound scared, unfortunately. So, and that's definitely not something we want. So what's really important for me is for you to find the right feeling of the contrast between forte and piano there, and then the right character. For me, it's really the character of the forte and piano there. If you want to do daring, and then right, then that's actually more contrast. But when you're thinking of this as a almost a little bit funnier, a little bit more scherzo kind of approach, then you'll be like, you see my point? There are so many different ways to do it. Okay, so can you try your daring and the scare idea, and then just 4 bars of it from a little bit earlier. So from there. Good. Okay. Yeah, that's actually really it sounds really convincing for me. But now let's try a little bit different approach. Can we? So when I was doing the class with Swathi, then I talk about like this high class music, like the gloves, and then for the guys there is a hat and there is a staff, and so imagine the same daring and scare, but in a more of a including a little bit elegance in it, not so Beethoven kind of daring and scare. Is that a point?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, please. Good. Okay. Now, last try I want you to do. So that's a little bit different already. Now, last thing I want you to try is change the balance of the forte a little bit. Now we're talking a little bit more technical. Here, instead of pay attention to that, maybe focus a little bit more on the lower note on the right hand or the top note. Not so much weight on the left hand. Try that one time for me. Yes. Okay. Good. Okay, so that's another way. And then like when you play classical music, personally, I think classical music you can practice for like ages, and you never get bored of it because there are so many different ways you can do it. Because the the message from the composer was not terribly clear sometimes. Now, one more thing is this. I want to do this section one more time. What key are we in here? What key are we in here?
E flat major.
No. I'm talking about the. I'm not talking about for the piano. I'm talking about earlier. What key are we in here?
C major.
Yes, C major 7, and then here is what?
Minor, C minor.
Yeah, C minor. So I want you to, and then to really feel the difference between the chords. Okay, can you just play the C major chord and 7, and then minor, and then 7, and then minor chord. Try that for me. No, one second. So you have the first part C major, and you have the 7th. You have to go to the 7th. The 7th, the G7 lead into the minor. Yeah, making them into a beautiful melody. And yes, okay. Good. Okay, now when you do can you do a brighter on the C major and a little bit darker color on the minor chord there? Darker on the minors. So the attack is a little bit not so sharp and not so bright like the major. Yeah? Good. And then when you go to here, and then a little bit crescendo here, and then even more. You basically you feel that chord going on. You see my point? Cool. Okay. Good. I hope that answered your question. Now, can we go back to the beginning one more time? I want you to do first of all 2 things. First, the big phrase. I know you try to do it, but at least a 4-bar phrase, a little bit more clear. The easiest way to do it is thinking of a pin to the 3rd, a little bit crescendo to the 3rd bar, and a little bit decrescendo. That's the first thing. Second thing is the articulation on the right hand. That really need to be there. Try. Good, better. Okay, the phrase is really good. Can you do right hand for me one time? Only right hand. Okay, so you separate with your right hand. You connected the phrase with your pedal. No. We need to hear ta ya pa da ti ya. Do you play other instrument outside of piano?
I play violin.
Oh, great! So imagine da ya ti ya, right? I mean, on a string instrument or woodwind instrument, you have the articulation is a lot more clear than the piano. Yeah. So we need to hear that tiny break between them. One more time, right hand. Good, much better. Now both hands. And then left hand. Normal. You really hear the harmony there. Good. Now it's a little bit too dry. So the pedal you use on the first note, lift, melody. use a little bit more on the first note and lift on the last note. Good, 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 good. Okay. Left hand one time for me. Good, good, good. So the crescendo on the second and the third bar was excellent. The last bar was a little bit awkward. Making sure you still keep the sound here. Not that you need to do such a drastic crescendo, but we need to hear the difference there. Okay, last time, please. Yes, yes, much better. And remember, like, don't take time. Good. Both hands and continue. Good. 1 second. What's your dynamic there? And like, where do you have the crescendo?
Well, like in my music, I don't have anything.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have anything. Okay. In my music, there is a crescendo on the. Okay. Not that it's going to be perfectly correct, but it's certain suggestion. So, and also when you it's same phrase but just like different hands, right? So when you go to here, it's a unison of both voices going on. So it's pretty natural to have a crescendo there. When you do the grace note on the right hand, when you do, making sure you do it really light and you can still hear the. Okay? So we go from the. Nice. Good, good, good. 1 second, 1 second. So last thing, that's one thing. Don't separate then. Can we go from the. Good. Go on. Daniel, great. So so can you do right hand one time for me? Try one time. Right hand, top. Good. 1 second, 1 second. So can you make them into 4-bar phrase instead of 1 bar? So you have a really good concept of the repeating notes. That's great, but I don't feel the connection between the. I don't feel that. Good, better. Now, when you do the. That's supposed to be one thing, but at the same time, they are not. They sound the same. Okay, when you play Mozart, unfortunately every note counts.
Yep.
Okay, same thing. Right hand, please. Good. So you do a crescendo. That's too many crescendo too soon. If you do. So thinking the crescendo going into here, yeah. Good. That's much better. Good. Both hands. Oh, one more thing. So the later on the same thing. When you do the can you less and then so this is not a very Mozart kind of, you know, very flowy, very pretty. Just everything is like unicorn flying around, rainbow going on. You know, this is not so much, you know, and change harmony here and then right. So surprise everywhere. So more, less. Okay. Can we go from the okay, one more time. You can do better. Don't get carried away by thinking of the bigger voice and then thinking of the what you did earlier so beautifully. Really maintain that. One more time. Good. Okay. So this. Thank you, Daniel. That was really good. So when you go to the making sure there is a less crescendo down. Yeah, that's one thing. Good. Okay. Now your right hand get softer in the beginning, but your left hand didn't follow. So that's why this doesn't sound very clear. It should be Yes. Okay. So all that's for Zando, making sure you crescendo into them, not so much. The first one you did it perfectly. The second one, so maybe it's a little bit more expressive kind of. Always remember all those for Zando. You try to crescendo into them instead of beating it. Good. Can we go to the second page? Can we go from there? And the character there, did you do the the minuet by Bach? Everyone knows, right? So can you imitate that kind of Baroque kind of and then back to Mozart. Yeah.
Also, sorry to interrupt, just a time check, about 3 minutes left.
Good. Daniel, left hand was excellent, especially the yum, bum, bum, bum. Great. Your right hand, the yum, bum, bum, making sure the yum, bum, bum, bum. I know you. Just lighten up your arm a little bit. I feel you're trying to control the sound too much. Let go. Let it be. Yes! Yeah, that's a place. I prefer you to take a little bit time so the grace note doesn't sound. It suddenly sounds too virtuosic. comes in a little bit earlier than where you should be, and make it a little bit slower so it's not more melodic. From here. Yes. Okay. So basically, I feel you have a really good sense of this. Just making sure a lot of the sposando is going to be leading into it, so it doesn't sound too sudden. And then try to give them different character with different sections. The right, and then the that, and then right. You keep changing character in this piece, and you have to boom start from the first note, be really in the character, and then so maybe you can think about for each different section, like give them a different adjective, personality, so to sort of help you changing the mood on the spot. Okay, but you did really well. I know, like when you play it through, there are times you're like, oh my god, but like you got this, and I know none of us has been playing in person for ages, so wonderful job, excellent work.
Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Awesome job. Okay, so next we're gonna take a quick picture of everyone before we do a short Q&A. So I'll give everyone a few seconds. If you could turn on your camera for the picture, that'd be great. It'll be posted, so if you're comfortable with that. Yeah. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, awesome. So now we'll do a short Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can unmute and ask. So, I guess I can go first. This is a pretty generic question, but over your entire musical career, what would you say was your most, memorable musical experience and why?
Okay, surprisingly, the most memorable musical experience happened when I was in middle school, actually. So I had these, I had jury, and then back then I was doing a Beethoven Sonata, first movement only. I don't even remember which one. I think it was Waldstein or something. And then it was a pretty big stage. It was back in the middle school, and then somehow, so there are two back door, and one of them was not closed, and then somehow it's pretty windy that day. So I felt when I was playing, I suddenly feel extremely lonely on stage, and that was sort of I guess it kind of shadowed what my career is going to be. As a performer, we spend a lot of time in practice rooms, and obviously I teach a little bit, but it's a really interesting career, and it sort of gives me the heads up of how my life is going to be, and I really like it. And not to say that performing is going to be, yes, performing is really lonely because there are many things, the preparation, and then all the things you have to deal with. But at the same time, I feel it is important for all of us to really know what you want to do for future, what you really like actually, and try to do the things you like. I feel, first of all, finding the things you like, and then try to do the things you like. And I know it sounds a little bit weird. That's the most memorable experience, but somehow even, I graduated with my doctoral, and then I started teaching already, and I perform in different places, but none of them really, somehow that feeling on stage, you're playing this Beethoven sonata you love so much, and there's just like wind keep blowing on you, and yeah, that's the feeling of it. Not that I don't like performing, I love performing, that's why I keep doing it, but like you do need to realize what you are dealing with, kind of. So hope that answered the question.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you for sharing. If anyone has any questions, you can unmute too. But I'll give everyone a few seconds. But if not, I have other questions too.
Okay.
Okay, well, this is more of a fun question. If you could have dinner with any living pianist, who would it be and why?
Oh, living one? Okay.
Living,
see.
or yeah, living.
Actually, I think it's going to be Brendel. But he's like he literally just celebrated his 90th birthday, so yes, he's leaving. But the reason is because he's such an interesting character. So he's one of the pianists. He won big competition. I think the competition he won was Busoni. It was not Tchaikovsky or Queen Elizabeth. He won that and then started his performing career. And I started knowing him from his Schubert and Beethoven sonatas, obviously, German music. Very interesting performance. He usually put a bandage on the tip of his finger, every single one of them on stage. And then the reason why I want to have dinner with him is the way he performed. He seemed such a not conservative, but like everything is so unique. Like everything is within him, and then like he plays never like outburst all the time. So that's always the impression. And he also wrote 2 wonderful books about his piano playing and then the things he think about music. So those are wonderful books. I can share the names later. But it's interesting that on YouTube he had a masterclass in, I think it was Royal Conservatory of Music, and he was teaching the Schubert Wonder Fantasy. And he is such a passionate teacher, and then they never let go of any tiny detail in every single piano, every single mezzo forte, every single mezzo piano. He's so OCD about it, but that's not what's really striking me. What strikes me is he is, even when he's like, I think when he was teaching he was like 85 or something, so he can barely walk straight and walk well, but when he was teaching, you can tell like he almost want to shake the student. He's like, do you get it? It's so the passion of him. He's just a very controversial person for me, and he's extremely intelligent. I mean, you can easily tell by his playing and his books. So I think he's going to be a very interesting person to really tell, and see in a dinner like how he is, and after like 2 alcohol and a steak, does he change or anything like that? That would be fascinating to see.
That's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. If anyone else has any questions, you can ask them now, but I do have one final question before we wrap up. So yeah, speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, last question. If you were to be deserted on an island in the middle of the ocean and you could only bring 5 pieces of music to play, there's a piano there and you only, actually wait, let's say recording. I feel like you have a lot of this music memorized, but let's say that you can only bring 5 recordings to play on this deserted island. Which would they be and why?
Oh, I think the first one is going to be the Schubert Winterreise. That's a song cycle by Schubert. He has 3, but the first Die Schöne Mühle, and then the Winterreise is more the complete one. The last one, the Schwangesang, is not. And in terms of who I want, the singer will be Pierce, and then Benjamin Britten. So the composer, Benjamin Britten, is actually a fantastic pianist, and he has a recording of that with Pierce. And it's the music is very eerie, and I actually did that set myself a few years ago at UMBC where I teach. It's really upsetting music, but something about it somehow, if you it's almost like a phoenix experience, like everything burned down to ash and then you rebirth from it. Somehow that music gives me that feeling, though in the end everyone died. Okay, so it's not a phoenix in terms of literature wise, but the music somehow it just, there is a rebirth in the end. Interesting. And the second 5 pieces is quite a lot. Okay.
We can do just 3 then.
Just 3. And then the second one, I will do the Goldberg variation by Bach. and the performer obviously is Glenn Gould. There is no other one. If you want to listen to Bach, definitely listen to Glenn Gould. Don't imitate him. You cannot imitate him. Somehow the way he plays a little bit like Horowitz. Horowitz play piano like that way, okay? But he plays so fast and he plays so, I wouldn't say precision, but he's such a fantastic pianist. And everyone was like, if you ask any of the piano teacher, everyone will be like, Horowitz, you listen to it, you don't imitate it, you cannot imitate it. Like no one can decipher how he does it. And the reason for the Goldberg variation is just because it's such a masterpiece, and Glenn Gould just put it in a way it makes it timeless. The last thing I will bring, actually, I don't know, maybe it's Tosca opera by Puccini, and I will bring the Callas version. Because it's full of drama, I guess, like with the other two pieces, it's basically gives it a contrast. And I love opera. The way I teach, you can tell it's always like extending voice. Yeah, I guess that's why I will bring.
Very interesting. Okay, so if no one else has any questions, I think this is a really good time to wrap up. So thank you so much, Dr. Chen, for your time today and for teaching, and awesome job. And thank you to Caroline, Michelle, Swathi, and Daniel for playing. You guys did awesome. So bye, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you again for coming.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.